Shalom, Rainicorns. It's Ellie, the Empress here. And so, hey, everybody commenting on Instagram, please go to YouTube. All the information is in the description. In the pin comment, okay? So, what we talk about today? How to manifest your perpendicular reality. And it's like, well, what is a perpendicular reality? Perpendicular reality is honestly, we're just going to say opposite of what everyone likes to talk about because everyone likes to talk about parallel reality. And is there an issue with the parallel reality? I feel like people should start at manifesting a parallel reality. And then when it comes to other matters, they start going into their perpendicular reality. Because the thing is, when you are ready to manifest your perpendicular reality, that means you're ready for everything to change. You're ready for everything to be different. You're ready for your entire life to be altered in a way that not only you desire, because things happen. You could get what it is you desire. You could get things that come with the challenges and whatnot. And at the same time, you are living a different type of lifestyle as well. So your habits, the things that you're accustomed to, those things tend to change. Those things tend to be altered, and they tend to have a form of reflecting your past and who you used to be. And so when you're talking about a parallel reality, that means there's not much difference from the current reality and then the new one that you're intending to manifest. Where if you're talking about a perpendicular reality, you're talking about something totally different. Okay. So the difference between it being parallel and then it being perpendicular. This is kind of different. You're on a different timeline. You hop timelines. You did hop your timelines. At the same time, when you completely alter and change them, you're going in a completely different direction. And so it's like, okay, well, what's the point of doing that? What's the purpose of doing that? That lets you know that you're on the path that you never knew before. So because you never knew that path before, then it's completely different from where you were going initially. And that's the best thing. So, the goals and things that people strive for initially, they may not be according to your calling. When you intentionally manifest your calling, that is your perpendicular reality. Where you headed that way, of course, that's why you meet in the middle. You have to take a sharp turn because otherwise if you just keep going the other direction, it's not to say that you missed your miracle, you missed what it is that you're aiming for. It's just there's another route to get there, and if you're going the same direction, it may either take longer, it may be less of what it is that you preferred. There's a lot of settling that happens. It's things that are not optimal that you desire. So when you take the perpendicular reality route and you say to yourself and you say to your reality, this is going to change. This is changing. I am manifesting a change. You have that conversation with God. You sit with the Most High and you say, Abba, I am ready for my life to be different. Of course, your physical reality may be similar looking. That's where people can relate to the parallel reality instead. It may look similar. However, things are drastically changing around you. So I have a few examples that I have experienced, but I have a couple that I can share with you guys. So if you go back on my channel to a few live streams previously, you go to 2024, around the time that Marcellus was killed. I also did a stream where I called out loud people that I want to involve in a film. And so those people that I requested to be in a film, I'm now on the trajectory of manifesting that reality. And okay, well, how is that even possible? What makes you say that? What gives you the confidence to even believe that such a thing is true? because I manifested it, for one. And then for two, it is because I took the time to sit and communicate with every, I'll say, energy and entity that I needed to communicate with. Because if I had not done that, I wouldn't be able to say what it is I'm saying out loud. It would be a wish, it would be a hope, it would be a dream. And we don't live in dreamland. That's where a lot of parallel realities get crossed over. When you live in dreamland 100% and you're not taking the physical steps necessary, it stays a dream. If you have a goal that you're intending to achieve, then that is where the physical action comes in, where a lot of people like to leave out the physical actions necessary in order for a new reality to exist. So those physical actions are what make the realities perpendicular rather than parallel. Because having a parallel reality, it puts you in more of a mindset. It does get you mindset ready. At the same time, it does not get you physical reaction ready, physical reality ready. Okay. I'm getting this ready for you guys so you can see and read. So, what we're handling currently is the state of our people in general in the United States. Of course, we are around the entire world as, gods and goddesses, Yasharala. However, you identify yourself as being children of God. Now, we do accept and understand the role of those who have different ethnic backgrounds. At the same time, those who deal with the most curses, we have to have a different type of communication and route of understanding for us to heal properly, because that is what the most important aspect of all this is. It's how are we healing? In what way are we taking the time to build ourselves up as a people, as a unit, and then also for the future? Much gratitude to the 4 viewers of 4 likes. And let's not be redundant. People in activism like to say things like, well, we got to start somewhere. Well, if you say that phrase, you're completely disregarding the work of those who came before us. You're completely disregarding the work of, figures like Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In the spiritual community, you have Bobby Hemmett, you have Dr. York. You have so many different figures who have already done different aspects of work. So to say that we have to start somewhere is disrespectful in a lot of different ways. And so acknowledging the work that has already been done and then expanding upon those notes, expanding upon those efforts and those things that have been accomplished and started and initiated already. So, like I said, I called out loud, that I would like to work with a set of people for a film. And one of those people happened to be the President of the United States. So, when you look at the stream that we did a day ago, the one right before this one, if you're watching this on the Sovereign Empress YouTube channel, then you will see where I showed the letter that I received from the president. I wrote first, and then he wrote back after that point. So let's pull that up. Okay. So here is the letter that I sent to the president initially. And everybody who's on Instagram, make sure you go to the Sovereign Empress YouTube channel. Information is in the linked comment, in the pinned comment, rather. And so this is how I addressed the White House initially. And this is the response that I got from the White House. Yep. Okay. And so it's like, okay, what is the significance of that? What is the significance of sharing that information? This is what I asked for a year ago. Quite literally, I manifested a response from the president in less than 12 months. And this is the type of work that I don't think that a lot of people who are considered to be woke, spiritual, new age really take into consideration. You can manifest anything. So, claiming you have a big voice and claiming that you have these abilities and capabilities and whatnot, okay, you have to take it to that next level. Like I said, that's good for starting when you are at the parallel reality version of manifestation. Once you get to the perpendicular level of manifestation, then that is how you know that you can bring things into your physical reality by making those moves and taking those chances. And so this is the information that was sent out to many different individuals. This is my bio. All right. And honestly, too, it's like, okay, what is the goal that you're attempting to achieve? Okay. So we have the different concepts that people talk about where it's like, I want better health. I want, you know, different things materially. Not that material things are bad. It's just, okay, we're here in this space where people talk about assisting the collective and raising the vibration. So this is what I would be manifesting to heal the land that I am from. It says ESG for the city of Memphis, Digital Delta Innovation. Protect our water, protect our community. So close to the bottom, it says innovative birch tree solutions can naturally clean and protect our environment. Adaptive phytotech systems develop birch based systems optimized seasonally for heavy metal uptake. So, when you're talking about contacting those who are in recognized positions of power, we're not just having fun contacting millionaires and billionaires who oversee entire conglomerates of organizations. We're not having fun communicating with politicians and just having a good time, having a giggle. We're talking about things that are so important that it affects the lives of millions of people. And that's not something to take for granted. That's not something to make light of. So that's what I mean by what is it that you're manifesting and why? And I feel like that's more of the parallel reality route. Talking about getting on the perpendicular reality route, okay, now we're talking about things that are much more significant and affect much of energy rather than your singular reality, how you would like for your personal experience to be. And so, reading my track record, where at 25, I became a published author, I started real estate at 19, and now being in the work of having a private equity firm, writing an essay series called Better Than Reparations, and building toward becoming a behavioral financial analyst. Those are not things that people do on occasion because it sounds cool. Okay, those are highly significant aspirations and goals that have been reached for the intention of assisting others. Did I make my life better by learning about investing in real estate? Yes, I did. And I've been able to assist others in learning that information as well through my platforms and through publishing my book. And now, through my essay series, Better Than Reparations, I'll be able to help other people understand the concept of genealogy and understanding why spirituality is important when doing ancestor work in archive spaces, not just, spiritually, oh, I'm going to leave this offering on this altar, stuff like that. That's fun when you're starting out, and that's how things begin. And then you have to take it into the physical spaces of doing that actual collective work, having those communications, having those meetings and whatnot. And so, what do you consider to be better than reparations? Because what do people think about when they hear reparations? They think 40 acres and a mule. Okay. In a literal sense, in today's time, I couldn't necessarily translate that into exactly what people think because there's so many different lifestyles that people live nowadays, where in that time, agriculture was essential for survival. Nowadays, you know, with there being things like farmers markets and different types of grocery stores and health food markets and whatnot, having 40 acres and a mule does not seem like something that a lot of people will want to have. A lot of people will want to have things like houses with maybe an acre or two and certain types of cars and whatnot. That's on a material level of what it is people will want. What's better than that? It's like, well, what do you mean what's better than that? And I live a comfortable life. I'll be able to be happy. Okay, where is your happiness outside of those materials? Understanding, having a sense of self, healing, healing the trauma that was caused in the past by these tragic situations. A lot of Black people grew up having the trauma from the past. All slave descendants grew up with the trauma of the past. When there's lack of understanding of why there are certain emotional or familial issues within our communities, that is because a lack of time that is taken to truly heal what happened in the past. When no one takes the time to learn about what happened in the past and see how it applies directly to oneself, then that is how things get altered. Oh, this person's lashing out. Oh, they have these mental issues, they have these mental problems, and all this and all that. Okay, you're not addressing what spirit is working through them. You don't know what reality they're reliving. They're reliving something that happened maybe 3 generations ago, 4 or 5 generations ago. It doesn't make sense, nor does it apply to today's time. However, they're not spiritually protected because they have a lack of self, they have a lack of knowledge, they have a lack of connection with the Most High. Because, okay, when you read the Bible, what is always stated? They always have this long line of genealogy. You will always be able to go back to whoever's parent was. You'll know, oh, this is the son of so and so, this is the daughter of so and so. Why was that so important? They never lost touch and connection with their roots. So if it's done in the Bible in such a strategic and organized way, why is it not done at all today? Because it was to distort the identity of the people being controlled. So by at least being able to go back to who your people were straight out of slavery, you can at least have that understanding and groundedness into what your identity is now in today's time. A lot of people came out of slavery and started different professions, and you want to understand why you like this particular field of work. You have this particular talent, you have this particular gift. You want to understand why those things happen. And you're not even looking back at who your people were. These things run in our blood. That's why the bloodline is so important. When people say things like blood is thicker than water, that doesn't mean blindly trust your family members and relatives with anything and that a stranger won't help you more. That's not what that means. Sometimes it's the exact opposite because of the curses. Blood is thicker than water means you have more in common with who you're related to than anybody else by genetics. If anything happens, you need genetics. If there's information that needs to be uncovered, you need genetics. A friend can only be there for you so much. When you share blood with somebody, there is something there that is an unbreakable bond. So taking all that into consideration is very, very deep, and that's why perpendicular realities are different than parallel realities. With parallel realities, you don't have to go into as much depth. That's not a problem. Like I said, it's a great stepping stone and a great starting point. But when you're talking about manifesting your perpendicular reality, you have to heal the wound. You can't, okay, so there's no amount of ointment, bandages, or different creams you can put on a wound that will get it healed if there's poison in the cut. So if there's a cut on someone's body and there's poison, a topical solution will never help the individual. You got to cleanse the body out. You have to wash things. You have to you might have to fast. You might have to do all sorts of things to get the poison out of the body because it entered through the cut. Putting a bandage on the cut will not help the poison that's inside. It may heal the wound, but the poison is still inside. So, parallel realities can help you bandage up wounds and cuts. Perpendicular realities help you remove the poison that was put into the body through the cut. It's a complete detox of the past. Understanding the past and accepting the past, learning from the past and utilizing the past to move forward. Having leverage. So this other example that I have of manifesting a perpendicular reality. My family has always been interested in things like genealogy and history and research regardless. At the same time, we didn't even know who our family was in totality because that information was hidden from us. So if you have the liberty of knowing your information, don't take it for granted. Do not take that for granted at all. If you know who your people are, if you have relatives that are of a certain age, a few generations back, don't take it for granted. Have as many conversations as you can have with them. Okay, so I spent about a year in really, really deep meditation, and I was able to connect with my ancestry in a deep way that got recognized on a national level. So that is the grave site. That is me pouring herbs. That's my son also at the grave site. So we have a multi generational connection with our ancestry and our lineage. This did not happen before. Nor was it possible before. Oh, give me 1 second, you guys. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, y'all. And everybody leaving comments on Instagram, please come to YouTube so I can reply to all your comments. I am only replying to the comments that are put here on YouTube. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. And so when you say you have a connection with your ancestors and you're doing all this stuff, you have to want to do things in the physical. Okay. It is not enough to just talk about how you're giving offerings, how you may have mediumship powers, Okay, what are you doing to take your existence to assist others and heal the lineage before you? Because this story being shut and not shared and being hidden was damaging to those who have passed on already. And so by me manifesting a perpendicular reality, I brought all the information to the surface. My family had been searching, having ancestry, accounts and looking and searching, but the answers were never there. And then boom, all the answers came. And so with that, all the gratitude. I'm very, very thankful, very grateful. And then I appreciate myself as well for taking that time and having the discipline to do such things in private, to now bring things to the forefront and be public about it. Because it's something that people need to acknowledge. Your spiritual connection is way more important than you think it is. It's not something that you do as a hobby. It's not something that you do for fun. It's serious. The way people treat religion, the way people treat spirituality, it's not treated as significantly as it should. It's the most significant thing ever in existence, because what created existence? Spirituality, structure that became religion. I don't think religion is bad. I don't even think organized religion is bad. What I do think is bad is when people do not use these tools, these ancient texts, and these things and resources to assist the collective properly, and when people are being taken advantage of and abused. That's what I dislike. And that's what a lot of religion and religious structures are. So when we call out the things that need to be called out, we're not saying it for fun. When I say things like the gods and goddesses, the Hebrew Israelites, Yasharella, when I say these things, I'm not saying it to be familial and to say trigger words. I'm saying this is who you are and this is your identity. This is how we are going to heal each other. This is not something that is supposed to be a hobby. This is not something that people are supposed to do for the internet. You can share things with the internet. Like I said, I was gone for almost a year. I was gone for 11 months because I'm doing these things in real life. This is your life. This is your child's life. This is your grandchildren's life. This is your parents' life. This is your grandparents' life. This is your great grandparents' life. You're working for and with everybody. All the energy is flowing through you, whether you're being assisted directly, people giving you resources, people giving you information, contacts, and whatever sort of necessary items and materials are needed, or you're working spiritually. You're getting these answers told to you in your ear, through your mind, through your spirit, through your heart. When you take all these things into consideration, you can't have a regular life and just keep living a regular life. No, you have to be zealous. You have to share these things with others in whatever sort of way that that is. Okay? This is something that I want it to be so clear to everybody that you don't have to ask any more questions about certain things anymore, because that's what a lot of these spaces and these different individuals and figures have become. They become reverberating repetition. People have become echo chambers of words. It's no longer knowledge if everybody knows it. It's not new information. It's not wisdom. It's common sense. So if everybody knows it, then it's common sense. It's not new knowledge. It's not something that needs to be shared anymore. Okay. All right. All right. I see you coming in on YouTube. I'm going to reply to your comment. If you're on Instagram, make sure you leave comments on YouTube. I'll reply to all these. Okay. And so taking this time, going out and doing the things necessary to bring it back here to share with you guys, that is what's necessary in any sense, not just, oh, I'm spiritual, so I'm going to do spiritual stuff. It's like, no, you got to get out. You got to be on the ground. You got to be doing things. 5 years of 5 likes. I appreciate y'all so much. and then taking it to the scale that I'm taking it to. Like I said before, you don't have to try to do things on a national scale. Okay, everybody did what they did yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We don't celebrate these holidays. I will catch a plate though. We know that the holiday that just passed is rooted in betrayal. That's all it is simply betrayal. And it's like, okay, well, how are people still celebrating it? Understand that this country not only did rituals on our people in the past, during the present, they did a ritual on time. Yesterday was the only day that a lot of people had off work. Yesterday was the cause of people being off school. So that's the only time that a lot of people get to see their blood, get to see their families, get to see the people that they resonate with. That's the only time that is given because of the system that has been set up through the control of time and manipulation. It's a federal holiday. Therefore, oh, everyone has permission to get off this day, to get off this week, to get off for this time period. Understanding that concept, being like, okay, if that's the case, we're going to acknowledge what the reality is. Not, I didn't say happy nothing to nobody. I did not say it. They said it to me. I said, have a great day, have a good evening. I shared, like, may God bless you. I shared positivity. I did not repeat that back to them. I did not say those words because what's happy about it? It's great to be thankful. This holiday is nothing to be happy about at all. Other holidays are like pagan or they're idolatry, things that you're not supposed to do necessarily. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, for the sake of it being what it is, all right, cool. This particular holiday that passed yesterday, there's nothing good about it. It's the direct epitome of betrayal. So understanding those things, but then also understanding that this is the only time that I get to see certain people because of the way that the system is as a whole. It's like if you want to hang out with this cousin, this sibling, this parent, this relative, like you can do it separately. It's hard to get everybody together all at one time, Mel Skippy said, "Where you been? Glad to see you back." Much gratitude. I've been kind of sharing throughout a few streams where I've been at. I'll share my screen in a moment so you can see. But yeah, go back and watch a few of the streams so you'll have a better understanding. But yes, be thankful for your existence and then utilize your existence to help others and also utilize your existence to manifest a perpendicular reality. Now, like I said, if you need to start at parallel realities, it's a stepping stone. It's literally a stepping stone to get to the parallel realities. And then once you're ready to take that big leap, what people like to call a quantum leap, an ultra quantum leap, hit that perpendicular reality. So to answer your question, Mel, okay, this is where I have been. I've been doing groundwork to assist with my personal ancestry and those who are in the community who were affected by police brutality and police violence. I have been doing this work with my family specifically and other organizations, including 2 universities. One who is fighting on behalf of those who are affected by actions in the Jim Crow era to get reparations. So that's to answer your question. This is where I have been. So, yes, that has been my life for the past year and why I have taken time away from these platforms. And I'm not back because I want to be back either. The way that YouTube is set up, I had to come back and be active with the platform in order for my memberships to stay open. So just know and understand I'm here because of the memberships. I am here for the people who want that deeper knowledge and information. So if you want to get a membership, awesome. I am here to participate with the platform on these live streams because of that purpose. That is why I am back. Otherwise, I would have just left my memberships. They were going to be open forever for people who wanted to get them for the time that they wanted to have them to get access to those videos. But I had to come back in order to keep those open. So therefore, I'm sharing with y'all very applicable information that you can use along your spiritual journey instead of y'all sitting up on whatever platforms you're on and just listening to people say the same things over and over again. Everybody been saying the same things for the past 5 years. Are y'all not tired yet? You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking more so to the really to the audience members. Are y'all not tired of watching the people say the same things over and over again? You'll go to this person, then you go to that person, then you go to that person, and they're all saying the same thing. Are you not tired of doing that yet? Because if you are tired, like I said, my memberships are open. Learn how to apply this stuff into your life, and then that way you'll have a more secure future, and then you'll be able to manifest your perpendicular reality, and you won't need to watch these people anymore. That's the thing. Those types of people make certain content so that you need to keep coming back because they're spoon feeding you. When you're done being spoon fed and you're ready for a full course meal, that's what the memberships are for. They're not nothing crazy. They're only 99 cents a month. And if you really want that deep information, they go up a little bit to about $4 a month, but the serious information is $50. But if you don't want to pay $50, you could just get a regular membership that's at the most, it goes from 99 cents about $4 or $5, and then you can get a what's it called, subscription on Instagram, so you won't have to pay 50. It'll be like $20, so you can get to the Tantra Time Lords podcast, and that takes you to a whole different level. All right, so that's what's been going on in these spaces. So I want you guys to understand, I want the best for our entire conglomerate of people, and it is happening. I'm grateful to see the what they call quarter zips. I'm loving that. I am loving that. If y'all have any other comments, go ahead and leave them. About to close out the stream. Anybody who's on Instagram, make sure y'all come over to YouTube. Leave any comments if you have anything you want to ask or say. The information's in the pinned comment. All right. But yeah, I have been loving the quarter zips. If y'all remember on, yes, I did share some stuff on YouTube back in 2023, but it was mostly on Instagram. It was Dapper 2023. What did I say? I put it out into the universe, and now it has come back. They talk about, oh, the YNs are now the YGs. They're young gentlemen. They're not young niggas of boy. They're young gentlemen, and they're wearing their quarter zips and their cashmere sweaters, and they're wearing their tie-up sweaters over their shirts around their neck, and then they get nothing wrong with Nike, but it's a stigma that comes with Nike clothes. But they getting rid of the Nike Techs and the Jordans, and they're wearing their Wallabies and their boating shoes, and they're wearing their dress shoes. It's like, okay, I see you, young man. So I'm seeing your YGs. I love it. I am loving it. I love too that a lot of them aren't like cutting their hair off. They're still keeping their locks, or they're still wearing their fades. They're still wearing their hair. They're still representing who they are, because that's our blood. That's who we are. At the same time, they're dressing more spiffy. They're dressing more dapper. And it was very much appreciated. As we went from dapper, demure, and now here we are fully in the perpendicular reality of the YNs turning to YGs and wearing quarter zips. Oh my gosh, I'm in full support of it. I talked to one of my relatives about this. I went to go pick up my holiday plate. I'll say it like that. I went to go pick up my holiday plate because I'm not going to celebrate, but I will eat. So I went to go pick up my holiday plate, and I talked to one of my relatives, and I asked them about it. They were like, yeah, it really gives Harlem Renaissance. And I'm like, that's exactly what I said. Because if y'all don't know, let me look it up real quick. We're literally on the exact timeline. This is why knowing your history is so important. We are in the exact timeline of the Harlem Renaissance. Am I typing it in? Okay, I'm my bad, y'all. I just got this computer and I'm learning how to use it. I ain't even click. What the heck is happening over here? It's exactly why I can't read my comments on Instagram. I got like 4 devices up right now. I'll just do this because I don't know what's going on. Why is it being weird? Okay, that thing was just messing up. There you go. Okay. Yeah, the Harlem Renaissance is, Google says, was a cultural, social, and artistic movement from the 1910s to the mid 1930s that celebrated Black identity and pride, originating in the Harlem neighborhood of New York City. It included an explosion of creative output in literature, music, visual arts, and theater, and its legacy includes laying groundwork for the civil rights movement. It began to fade with the onset of the Great Depression, though its profound impact continues to be felt today. Fantastic. Fantastic. We're in that time. We're in the timeline of the Harlem Renaissance being manifested again. And here's the thing. Let me because I took a screenshot because I knew this was important. The dude who started the Courtesan movement, what's his name? Gyamfi. Jason Gyamfi. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It looks like he's in New York or somewhere up north because of the way that the infrastructure is built. And it's just like, okay, much gratitude, New York, for spreading the vibes and getting people straight with their fashion. It's beautiful. I love it. I really love it. So at the same time, keeping track of history, the Great Depression is mentioned in here too. So, not to say that everyone has to struggle. You just got to figure out, okay, what is necessary. This is why I share the business information that I do. What is necessary, and get in that business, whether you get a job or you start a business. What is necessary? That ESG stuff that I'll be talking about, I will be sharing more with the members specifically about ESG very, very soon. What is it in ESG that you can get into? Because that is necessary. That is a necessary field to be in. So, same thing that happened with COVID, the essential workers and all that stuff. What are you going to be guaranteed to keep finances coming in during these hard times that are coming? So you won't have to have hard times. That's the type of timeline you need to be on, perpendicular reality. When Wortman said, I remember. Yeah, period. And much gratitude to Win for being a trillionaire entity. So, yes, you guys, we're about to go. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I did not stream yesterday. I had a lot going on. I was not celebrating. I was doing some things and changing some stuff up in my current reality because that is still going. It is still flowering into the beautiful garden that it is, and I'm very, very satisfied with the things that have happened in my life. I would share a lot more with you, but people suck. And so I cannot share everything going on in my life on the internet. Not anymore. I used to share a lot with y'all. Can't do that shit. All I can do is share information and ways that I can inspire and teach. But I will be getting a little more personal on my vlog channel. So if you want to subscribe to my vlog channel, where I will, share more things that are happening in my personal rather than just spiritual information, you can go to my vlog channel. It's the same as my Instagram, Real Talk with Ellie, Talk with 2Ks. So yeah, that's it. If y'all don't have any more comments on YouTube, I'm gonna go. Everybody on Instagram, like I said, if you want to leave comments, please leave them on YouTube so I can reply to all of them. Okay. But yeah, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. This stream is a bit shorter just because it's like it's straight to the point. It's just like, listen, this isn't about how to meditate in a new position, like or where to meditate in a new thing. It's like even doing stuff like going for a walk with your pet. If you have a child, I just got off a walk with my pet and my child. It's just like changing your daily routine. I go outside all the time, but it's like going for a walk. That's like a different, type of concept in my daily routine, rather. Because it's like, of course, people go on walks, but, not like a wooden trail going to a forest and like walking along a wooden trail. Like, that's cool. I mean, just walking around the neighborhood. But okay, y'all. I will see you in the next one. I might go live twice today. Like I said, I didn't go live yesterday because I was doing a lot of things, and I just didn't do it. But yeah. Hey, Shalom, Rainicorns. I will see you in the next one. Tawada. And that means thank you in Hebrew.